Hold on to your lightsabers, people, because even after decades of movies, shows, books, and enough content to fill a Star Destroyer, the galaxy far, far away is still keeping secrets.
We're talking mysteries so deep that even the Jedi archives don't have answers. And trust me, those guys hoarded knowledge like it was spice from Kessel.
Welcome back to Geek Girl Chronicles. I'm Vivian.
And I'm Anne Margaret.
Today, we've each brought our top 5 unresolved Star Wars mysteries to the table.
5 each, 10 total. Let's see who found the juicier secrets.
From Palpatine's creepy clone experiments to the actual origin of the Force itself, these are the questions that keep fans theorizing at 3 a.m.
So buckle up. We're about to dive into the mysteries that even 1,000 generations of Jedi couldn't solve. All right, starting strong with the master of all mysteries himself, Emperor Palpatine. Because apparently, getting thrown down a reactor shaft and exploding in blue lightning wasn't enough to keep this guy down. The Rise of Skywalker shows us clone tanks on Exegol filled with failed Palpatine bodies and those creepy pickle Snokes. But that barely scratches the surface.
Pickle Snokes! More comebacks than a Marvel villain, this guy.
Right? But here's what's still unresolved. Did Palpatine's spirit jump between clone bodies? How many backup Palpatines were in storage? And the big one, did he actually help create Anakin through midi-chlorian manipulation? The Revenge of the Sith novel hints that either Palpatine or his master Darth Plagueis might have influenced Anakin's birth. Canon won't confirm it, won't deny it, just leaves us hanging.
Classic Sith move. Even their mysteries have mysteries.
So we know Palpatine survived through cloning, we know he had a secret armada, but the how, the when, and the backup plan details still locked away tighter than Imperial classified files.
Some fans think Palpatine actually created Anakin using Sith dark science, literally fathering the Chosen One. Wild, right?
Do you buy it, or is that just Imperial propaganda? Drop your take below. Does it ruin the myth, or make the saga even weirder? But Palpatine's puppet master tendencies don't end with his own resurrection. They extend to one of the sequel trilogy's most enigmatic figures.
Speaking of mysterious returns, let's talk about Supreme Leader Snoke. For 2 movies, he's built up as this ancient, powerful darkseid user who corrupted Ben Solo and commands the First Order. Ancient scars across his face, knowledge of Sith teachings, enough raw power to connect Rey and Kylo across the galaxy.
And then we find out he's basically a genetically modified Palpatine fingernail.
The Rise of Skywalker reveals Snoke was just a puppet, grown in a tube on Exegol. But that raises more questions than answers. Why did Palpatine need a middleman instead of ruling directly? Were there multiple Snoke iterations? What memories or training did this clone actually have?
And here's the kicker. Snoke calls himself Supreme Leader, builds this massive military operation, corrupts the grandson of Anakin Skywalker, all while being remote controlled by his creator.
So Snoke's identity is technically solved, but his purpose, his consciousness, his entire existence as more than just Palpatine cosplay, still a mystery.
There's even a theory that Snoke was secretly a vessel for Palpatine's consciousness. Fragmented, like a Force Horcrux.
Would you have preferred Snoke as Darth Plagueis reborn? Or did the clone puppet twist actually work for you? Sound off with your wildest Snoke theory in the comments. Bonus points if it makes more sense than the Rise of Skywalker. While Snoke was being used as Palpatine's puppet, the Supreme Leader surrounded himself with another layer of shadowy defense. Warriors even more visually striking and narratively unexplained. The infamous Knights of Ren.
Their sudden arrival begs the question, who are these imposing figures who stride out of the darkness, leave a lasting impression, and then vanish almost as quickly as they appear? The Knights of Ren burst onto the scene in The Force Awakens, disappearing across most of The Last Jedi, only to return for 5 fleeting minutes before getting utterly demolished. Canon tells us their individual names, Vikrul, Cardo, Ushar, but not their backstories. Wikipedia describes them only as an enclave of masked elite warriors, the enforcers of Kylo Ren's will. Were they failed Jedi? Darkseid cultists? Just really committed cosplayers?
The real mystery is how they managed to look so intimidating while accomplishing absolutely nothing plot-wise.
Exactly. And what happened after the First Order fell? Did they disband? Try to rebuild? Open a mysterious warrior-themed restaurant? The Knights of Ren remain one of Star Wars' most visually striking and narratively underused mysteries.
But some fans theorize they're former Jedi students who followed Kylo after Luke's temple fell. Or maybe dark side cultists from the unknown regions.
What's your headcanon? Did the Knights get the short end of the lightsaber? Or is there a hidden backstory waiting for a Disney Plus spinoff? Let's argue it out in the comments.
Speaking of Kylo Ren, his connection to another character created one of the most mystifying Force phenomena we've ever witnessed. From mysterious warriors to cosmic soulmates, the Force dyad between Rey and Kylo Ren is described as two people who are one in the Force, a phenomenon that hasn't occurred in generations. They can communicate across light years, share visions, even pass physical objects through their connection. It's like Force FaceTime, but with way more emotional trauma.
Cosmic Tinder matches energy, honestly.
But here's what's unresolved. Why did this bond form? The movies hint it's because of their lineages. Skywalker and Palpatine bloodlines finally connecting. But Snoke originally thought Luke was Kylo's counterpart. So did the Force deliberately create this dyad? Is it destiny, genetics, or just cosmic coincidence? And what were the full extent of their powers together?
We saw them fight as a team and Rey heal deadly wounds, but Sith lore suggests a dyad could be a power like life itself. What does that even mean?
Plus, are they really the first dyad ever? Or just the first in recent memory? Could this happen again with other Force users?
The galaxy's greatest love story, and we still don't understand the cosmic mechanics behind it.
So the dyad is explained just enough to drive the plot, but the deeper mysteries of how and why remain as mysterious as the Force itself.
Fan theory time! Some believe the dyad was prophesied in the lost pages of the Jedi text, making Rey and Kylo's connection a cosmic inevitability.
Do you think the Force planned this? Or did Palpatine just get lucky? Who else would make an epic dyad pair? Let's play matchmaker down in the comments.
Now, if we're going to talk about Palpatine's grand schemes and mysterious Force connections, we need to address the literal headquarters of all his dark machinations. Time for our halfway point mystery, the hidden Sith world of Exegol. Because nothing says I've been planning my comeback like building a secret planet filled with star destroyers and clone tanks. Welcome to Exegol, featuring thousands of ships, industrial cloning facilities, and ancient Sith architecture. But here's what blows my mind. This entire operation was built and maintained by the Sith Eternal Cult. Who were they? How many people were involved? How did they stay hidden for decades? The Rise of Skywalker shows us maybe a dozen cultists chanting in the background, but the infrastructure suggests thousands of workers, engineers, and shipbuilders. Where did they all come from?
And let's talk about those clone tanks. We see failed Snokes and backup Palpatines, but what about all the other experiments? Were they trying to clone other Sith Lords?
Plus, the temple walls have carvings about the doctrine of the dyad, ancient Sith prophecies that Palpatine somehow knew about. How long had he been planning Rey and Kylo's connection?
So Exegol gives us answers about Palpatine's survival, but opens up a dozen new questions about the scale and scope of his backup plan. There's a legendary fan theory that Exegol is older than the Sith themselves, founded by the first darkside users, with secrets lost even to Palpatine.
Would you want an Old Republic show set entirely on Exegol, or is the mysterious temple best left unseen? Let's debate the story potential below.
But the dark side isn't the only source of unsolved mysteries. Sometimes the galaxy's greatest enigmas come not from Sith secrets, but from heroes and villains who literally disappear into the cosmic unknown, creating new cliffhangers with every jump to hyperspace. From ancient Sith worlds to modern disappearances. At the end of Star Wars Rebels, Ezra Bridger and Grand Admiral Thrawn vanish into hyperspace courtesy of space whales. For years, their fate was the ultimate cliffhanger. The Ahsoka series finally gives us answers. They're on Dathomir. Ezra is living with turtle-like aliens. Thrawn's plotting his return. But that just raises new questions.
Ezra's basically been vibing with space turtles, while Thrawn's been, building a new empire out of Night Sister magic?
Exactly. How did they get from Lothal to another galaxy? What's Thrawn's relationship with the Night Sisters? And why did Ezra seem so confident that Sabine would eventually find him? The show reveals Thrawn's resources are depleted, but he's still clearly planning something massive. What's his endgame now that the Empire has fallen?
And here's the real mystery. What happened during all those years of exile? Did Ezra and Thrawn ever interact? Form some kind of understanding? The tension between them in Ahsoka suggests there's a history we haven't seen.
So while we know where they ended up, the journey and the long-term consequences of their disappearance remain mostly mysterious.
There's a running fan theory that Ezra and Thrawn spent years shaping the fate of the other galaxy, maybe even influencing the rise of the New Republic.
What do you think happened during their exile? Were Ezra and Thrawn enemies, uneasy allies, or full-on frenemies? What's your favorite scenario? And if mysterious disappearances weren't enough, recent Star Wars stories have resurrected one of the saga's most legendary figures, in a way that creates even more questions than it answers.
Let's talk about the Acolyte's bombshell revelation. Darth Plagueis is alive. Not just mentioned in a Palpatine monologue, but actually surviving into the High Republic era. The series finale shows him lurking in the shadows after supposedly being killed by his apprentice. So how exactly does one survive being murdered by a Sith Lord?
Still less wrinkly than Palpatine, somehow.
But the real mystery is the Stranger, Kymir, the former Jedi who turned to the dark side. The show reveals he was Plagueis' apprentice, but his backstory before becoming Sith is barely touched. Where did he come from? What made him turn? And why did Plagueis choose him specifically? The series hints that Kymir has unique Force abilities, but what exactly makes him special?
If Plagueis survived his death and is still conducting experiments during the High Republic, what's his ultimate plan? Is he trying to create the perfect apprentice or unlock immortality itself?
The Acolyte was cancelled before answering any of these questions, leaving Plagueis and his mysterious apprentice as one of the biggest dangling plot threads in modern Star Wars.
Some fans even speculate the Stranger, Kymir, is a failed Chosen One experiment, or that he carries ancient dark side blood.
Was Plagueis grooming his own dark side dynasty, or just obsessed with cheating death? And who's the creepiest Sith apprentice in your book? Drop those Plagueis theories below. Now, after all these complex Sith conspiracies and dark side machinations, let's pivot to what might be the simplest question in Star Wars, one that somehow remained completely unanswered for over 4 decades.
From complex Sith politics to the simplest question with no answer. What species is Yoda? After decades of Star Wars content, this little green mystery remains completely unsolved. We know they live for centuries, mature slowly, and seem to be naturally Force sensitive. Yoda, Yaddle, Grogu, all incredibly powerful. But their homeworld, their species name, their origins? Complete blank.
Space frogs with good PR, basically.
The Mandalorian added Grogu to the mix, showing us more of their species development, but still no concrete answers. Are they all Force sensitive? Do they come from a specific planet? And here's what's interesting. Lucasfilm has deliberately kept this mystery alive. George Lucas could have revealed their origins decades ago, but chose not to. And now Dave Filoni continues that tradition. It's like the one thing Star Wars refuses to over-explain. In a franchise that's given us detailed backstories for background Cantina aliens, Yoda's species remains sacred territory. The mystery adds to their mystique. Maybe they're connected to the Force's origins. Or maybe they're just really good at staying hidden. Either way, it's the longest-running unsolved mystery in the galaxy. If the answer turns out to be they're Ewoks that got really good at the Force, we're staging a fan revolt. Some say Yoda's people are literal avatars of the living Force, sent to intervene when the cosmic balance teeters. So what do you think? Is it better we don't know? Or are you dying for a Planet of the Grogu series?
From species mysteries to cosmic ones. The Clone Wars introduced us to Mortis, a mystical realm beyond space and time. It's inhabited by 3 Force wielders who might hold the key to the Force's origin. The Father, the Son, the Daughter, embodying balance, dark side, and light side respectively. Anakin visits this place and learns he might be the Chosen One, but the realm is destroyed before we ever get real answers.
Star Wars' Bermuda Triangle, honestly.
But here's what's haunting. Obi-Wan describes Mortis as a conduit through which the entire force of the universe flows. So is this where the Force comes from? A physical location that exists outside normal reality? The father claims their family has been maintaining balance for millennia. But who created them? Are they the first Force users, or just the most powerful survivors of something even older?
And here's the connection that keeps me up at night. Time works differently on Mortis, just like it does on Ahch-To, where Luke found the first Jedi temple. Coincidence? Plus, what happened to the realm after it was destroyed? Did it actually cease to exist or just become inaccessible? Are there other Force realms out there? So Mortis gives us our deepest look into the Force's true nature, but leaves us with more cosmic questions than answers. One wild fan theory: the Mortis trio are echoes of ancient Force gods, the real source of Jedi and Sith power. Do you want Star Wars to get more mythic and weird, or should they keep Mortis in the shadows? Theorize away. We read every theory, and the wilder, the better.
Which brings us to a mystery that stretches beyond characters or planets, a puzzle at the very heart of the Force itself.
The first Jedi temple, built on what might be the most Force-sensitive location in the galaxy, filled with centuries of accumulated wisdom. And Luke's response to reading it? Burn it all down.
Burn it down.
But what was in those texts that made Luke so determined to end the Jedi Order? What failures, what dangerous knowledge, what dark truths did he discover? We know Ahch-To was where the Jedi began, but how did they discover the Force there? What made that location special? Were there pre-Jedi Force users on the island?
And here's the thing that bugs me. Luke tells Rey the tree and its secrets are reduced to ashes, but Yoda's ghost seems way too pleased about the whole situation. What did Yoda know that Luke didn't?
The deeper mystery is whether those texts contained warnings about the Jedi's repeated failures, or instructions for something even more dangerous. Force techniques too powerful to risk? Prophecies Luke decided couldn't be fulfilled.
So, the very foundation of the Jedi Order, their oldest wisdom, their original purpose, all literally went up in smoke, leaving us with more questions than a Jedi philosophy class. There are fans who swear the Jedi texts hid forbidden Force techniques, the kind that could tip the galaxy toward light or darkness.
Would you love to see a prequel series about the first Jedi on Ahch-To? Or is legend more powerful than the truth?
So those are the 10 biggest Star Wars mysteries still haunting the galaxy far, far away.
From Palpatine's backup plans to the actual origin of the Force itself.
Some of these might get resolved in future movies and shows. Others might stay mysterious forever. And honestly, that's part of Star Wars' magic.
The best mysteries make you think, theorize, debate with other fans at 2 a.m. They keep the galaxy feeling vast and unknowable.
So which mystery keeps you up at night? Did we miss one that should have made the list? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.
And remember, in a galaxy this big, every answer just leads to 3 new questions.
Just don't expect Disney to explain Yoda's species anytime soon. Some mysteries are too sacred to solve.
If they ever reveal that Yoda's people are actually evolved porgs, we're officially done with Star Wars.
Same. Until next time, keep questioning everything.